Hi, this is Robert. This is the demonstration of AO2.1x. It is wired AO2.1x, not wireless. What is AO2.1x? It is for port-based network access control. It is part of the AO2.1 group of networking protocols. It provides an authentication mechanism to devices wishing to attach to a LAN or a wireless LAN. Before we have a device that with Wi-Fi interface that supports AR to the YX. Now it is available for wired local connection, which use Ethernet cable connect between the AO to the YX client and the device. Wired AO2.1x is a network access control protocol used to secure wired Ethernet networks. It provides a framework for authenticating devices trying to connect to the network. Typically use a radio server for authentication and authorization. When a device connects, it must provide credentials which are then validated by the radio server. If authentication is successful, the device is granted access to the network, which is the external network, and also for accessing the device. Otherwise, it is denied. This method enhances security by ensuring that only authorized devices can access the network, reducing the risk of unauthorized access. The workflow will be the device, the client, or supplicant sends an extensible authentication protocol, which is EAP request, to the access point. The access point recognizes this is an AO to the 1X connection, then forwards the EAP request to the Radius server. The Radius server checks the user credential using the chosen authentication method. In this demo, I will use EAPTLS, which will use the certification. And also this link, this connection will be in TLS, which is secure connection. The radio server sends an EAP response back to the access points, indicating success or failure. The access point forwards the EAP response to the client device. If successful, the device is granted network access. If not, access is denied. The next, I will show you how to do configuration on the supplicant, the client. The client, you need to enable AO to the 1X feature. The client that I'm using, it is Windows 11 system. By default, AO to the 1X is disabled. After you enable the AO to the 1X feature on the client, and you need to have certification. You need to have a certification, which is credential for authentication between the client and server. The certification will I already generated from the radio server. You need to download the certification from the server, the client certification. for the client. And then you need you install the certification on the client. So that's the configuration. The access points already enable the AL2.1x functionality. The app already installed. It's a firmware. It's not an application. It's embedded in the firmware, and this device already update the firmware which has AL2.1x feature. It is already enabled. So first, let me enable the AL2.1x feature on Windows client. First, you go to Service and select Wired Auto Config. Double click, start the feature. Once you start the wired AL2.1x, then go to the network adapter. This network adapter that I'm gonna use connect between the client and the access point. After you enable this feature, you will find there is a new tab that is authentication. As you can see, you can disable or enable the AL2.1x authentication. After you enable it, you need to select which method you would like to use. You have multiple authentication way. There is let me check. You can go to settings, network, internet, and select the internet. Select the corresponding network adapter. This is the one that I'm gonna use. And then authentication settings, edit, enable the authentication, edit configuration. They have multiple ways for authentication. This demo I will use EIP-TLS. Okay, so you have to prepare the certification. I already downloaded the certificate. I will use this certificate for the for the client. So you have to install the certification. Double click, next, input the password. Next. Okay, the certification has been installed. And then go back to the settings, Ethernet. You need to log in. You have to plug in now you plug in the Ethernet cable to the access point. Now it's unplugged. Now I use a Ethernet cable connect between the this laptop and the access point. Now the Ethernet adapter is trying to do authentication, attempting to authenticate. Go back to the Ethernet. You need to sign in. On the server side, let me use the TCP dump to listen the data if there is any traffic between the access point and the server. This protocol uses UDP, and the port is 1812 is for authentication. It's already authenticated because I already installed the certification. Let me plug in it again. As you can see, server received traffic from the access points. As you can see, there is access request from the access point, and there is a challenge, and the server accept the credential. So after that, the client will get the IP address from the access point, and the network access is granted. Okay, now you can access the gateway and the external network. So now I can, since this laptop is supplicant granted the network access, now I can access the gateway. So let's go to the configuration on the access point. They have several parameters. Disable or enable the AO2.1x feature. Interface by default it will only capable for LAN 0. So if you have multiple Ethernet ports and with different network segment that's not belong to LAN 0, that Ethernet port won't be affected for the AO2.1x feature. So if you want those Ethernet ports that's capable for AO2.1x, you need to set the interface in LAN 0. A radio server. Configure the target radio server for authentication. This is a default authentication port and default accounting port. Radius share secret, which is created from the radio server. LAN close mode. What it is? It is if you enable it, only the authenticated MAC address is allowed to access the LAN port. That means if you enable close mode, if the supplicant is unauthenticated, it won't be able to get the IP address from the access point from the device. The access points won't assign IP address to the client. So the client even won't be able to access the gateway. If you disabled close mode, an authenticated client can access the device, the gateway, the access points, but traffic doesn't forward. That means if you disable close mode, you can access the gateway, but the traffic won't be forward through the gateway. That is the unauthenticated device can access to the internet because it is it doesn't grant the network access. There is another feature that uh, it is notification. If the supplicant, the AO2.1x client authentication is failed, the notification can be sent to the administrator through email or SMS. So you can go to event to enable it. Send email. For example, send to my personal email address. This is the event. AO2.1x authenticate failed. Then submit this feature. After you edit this event list, because you want it to send through email, so you have to configure the sending email server. Right here. Okay, I have to configure the my email server credential. I forgot it. Let me check. Hold on a second. Okay, I got the password. Let's continue on the email sending server configuration. Okay, from the same email address of email sending server. Okay, the subtitle subject is well to the wax failure. Submit the setting. Okay, the sending email sending server configuration is done. And let's double check the configuration. One is you enable the YO2 the 1x, AO2 the 1x feature. Then you have configured the radio server parameters accordingly, and then the event for when the authentication is failed, and it will send email alert to the administrator. Okay, let me log in my personal email server. Okay, let's do the demonstration on when the authentication is failed, if it can trigger the alert, if it will send the email alert to the administrator. So how to demonstrate authentication failure? I have to delete the certification because access point use the credential of the certification for authentication. So I have to delete it. This is the one. is the certification that I just installed. Let's delete it. Okay, it has been deleted. Okay, let's monitor this network data. Let me unplug the Ethernet cable from the access point and then plug it. Okay, authentication failed. That's because the certification has been deleted. So authentication failed. And then my personal email should receive the notification. We check if the email server is correct. All right. I just received the notification. Here's a notification of the authentication failure. Okay, so here's a demo. Thank you for watching the video.